RIN TV coverage of the 2015 Joint Industry Forum is brought to you by PCS, a unit of Verisk Analytics. We spoke with Chuck Chamness, President and CEO of NAMIC, during the recent Joint Industry Forum in New York. We asked him how mutual insurers fared in 2014 and got his thoughts on regulatory standards, tort reform, and more. Here are the highlights.
We don't have the year-end results yet, but through 9 months, our industry was doing very well, both in terms of profitability and growth. Some of the standard awards that our industry enjoys receiving, including 20 of the 50 awards, 50 selections were from among our membership. We just think the mutuals are performing extremely well, and many J.D. Power recognitions from among our members. And we think really the environment post-financial crisis is one that has benefited our segment of the industry. We think that people looking at corporate America, looking at the insurance needs that they have increasingly turned to these member-aligned, policyholder-focused mutual insurers, and many of the mutuals have started to talk a lot more about being mutuals. Well, as you know, we're very concerned about the international capital standards. We're engaged with IAIS. As you know, back in December, they released their 200-page new capital standards draft. We'll be commenting on that by the deadline next month. Also of note, just at the end of last year, NAMIC and PCI sponsored a study by Robert Shapiro that I think was very important in understanding what the impact of capital standards might be on the U.S. Shapiro said that it could add up to $109 to the cost of a homeowner's policy here in the U.S. It could reduce our insurance offerings by over $7 billion. So we're quite concerned. We know the financial crisis showed that we don't have a problem with our solvency regulation. That's really what capital standards are about. Our system in many ways is incompatible with the other systems around the world that are driven by capital standards. And so we're working to, we'll be working to comment on the draft, and we'll be very engaged this year to help come up with a capital standard that is tolerable for our members. Tort reform ebbs and flows with elections. I'd say it hasn't really been on the back burner. We've had many successful battles on bad faith, for example, where we've fought new bad faith standards that have been out in places like Oregon and Florida. It's coming up in Oregon again this year, so we'll be engaged in that. But I do think with the elections we'll have some opportunities, mostly in the states, to put in place better tort reforms and continue to work on the issue. All the issues that face our industry, and there are many. I'd say one that deserves mention is a lawsuit that NAMIC and AIA filed 2 years ago, and we won in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. It was on the HUD Disparate Impact Standard, the new regulation that HUD's attempting to put in place, and we had a resounding victory, an excellent write-up by the judge on the HUD issue, and so now it's on to the Court of Appeals, where we'll see what happens, but we expect that the Supreme Court will either deal with it through our lawsuit or through a Texas case that's already been accepted by the court and may be heard this year.
For more of our coverage of the 2015 Joint Industry Forum, visit the RIN TV On Demand Library.